necessary. It was an honor to serve your country. Something else that he doesn't have it. His whole position
was an honor to die.
So I just don't understand. So okay, I mean,
his position in the nation.
It's an honor to die for your family. If somebody's attacking your family,
it's necessary.
Your kids, you gotta do what you gotta do as a
I'm talking
man.
about women. I'm not talking
It's
about
necessary.
men.
And you know what's a great example? That guy that died like a week ago, he covered his family with his body. Okay?
Yeah,
let's repeat that.
Yeah,
let's repeat that.
That's his family. But I'm talking about.
Let's repeat that. He covered his family with his body.
And that's admirable. But what I'm saying is that the woman is.
It was a fucking man.
Because she didn't die.
It's admirable.
So
what's that?
Bro, that's what men. That's what you don't understand. It. That's what men do.
Because the woman has the privilege, though. That is a privilege to be saved. It is a privilege.
Well,
it's not a privilege.
It's also a privilege to protect. That's the point.
See, I don't think
Hampton, wait a second. Hampton, listen.
That's weird.
Listen.
That's not
Hampton, listen for a second. It's not weird. It's a privilege to be protected because you're bearing the children, you're bearing the seed, you're bearing the future, you're bearing the progeny, and it's also a privilege to protect those very things. It's a teamwork, and that's what we're saying. And he was trying to attack that, which is what I found so intolerable and why I was so impatient with him. He's being nihilistic, and we're saying, yes, life is tough, but it's fulfilling if you have meaning in your life. And there's nothing more fulfilling than taking care of another human being.
That's right.
That's my whole point. Huh? What?
I said that's right. That's right.
So I can take care of another man? That's fine.
You can take care of another man. Of course you can. Why the hell not, Hampton?
Another person.
Hampton, why not?
So I have a husband, right? Say, I get married, I have a husband, and we're on a boat. The boat is sinking, and there's a bunch of women and children first. And I'm like, no, get my husband on the boat too, and force my husband on.
See, this is where you're lying.
Hampton.
My bad.
Yes, if your husband wants to be on the boat, he can be on the boat. Nobody's kicking his ass off. Go look at the Titanic.
That he would be screamed at. People would call him everything.
No, see, no. If you're thinking, maybe the last thing you're thinking about is what people think. No, so what he's trying to say is, so like, let's just say all of us in this room was on a cruise boat, right? And the cruise boat was about to sink. So they're gonna put women and children first.
Because they're the most vulnerable and the weakest.
Because they're the weakest, right? So he's gay, and him and his husband are gay. I don't have time to say gay. So then you feel because they're gay, they feel like they should go on the boat before women and children. At the end of the day,
with women and children, not before with.
Nobody said that.
He's saying with women and children. He doesn't want to be left there.
You can't go with women and children.
Sure he can if he wants to.
Why not?
If you want to go,
what's the problem? Women, children, and elderly are gonna go first.
It's no big deal.
Wait, is
it not gonna say?
Is it old women and old men?
Yes, old men count.
I was just curious.
Don't be a snowflake, Hampton.
I'm just curious. I don't know.
Well, I told you that, okay?
If the boat was sinking, women and children are going first before anybody.
Who knows if
whether you're heterosexual or gay?
Who knows if those rules even still
Nobody
apply?
would ask Hampton if whether he's gay or not. That has nothing to do with this.
Stop. What I'm saying.
Believe me, they figure it out pretty damn quick, though.
I'm saying is that I get it. I totally understand the logic, and I get it. What I'm saying is, I think the women are privileged in that situation, that their lives are more valuable.
In that situation, yes. In other situations, no.
But what is that? The implicit message in that is women's lives are more valuable than men's.
No, the implicit message is that they're more vulnerable.
No, the implicit value is like if people are going to die, you'd rather have the men die than the women. That's what the message is.
No, it's that we figure the men can fend for themselves a lot better.
On a sinking boat.
Bro, the men are stronger. Yes. You're not a woman.
You're not a woman.
I know.
And women have more privilege than us. They have more privilege than us. And it is what it is. And I'm not bothered by it.
Okay, then that's you. That's at least you.
Some ways they have privileges, and some ways they don't.
Let me tell you something.
When it comes down to like a fucking boat sinking or some shit, yeah. But then when you go down to like other shit, then no. But yeah, women and kids, bro, when it comes down to it on some like life or death type shit, they gotta go first.
Okay,
if anybody's gonna get saved,
we get it.
Women and kids gotta get saved first. At the end of the day.
How fun it is to date as a woman, right? Like, think about it. Like, you go on a date.
But you're not a woman, though. So like, what do you?
I know. I'm just saying. I'm thinking about it. Think about it. All you gotta do is look good, and then you're gonna and then you just have to sit there.
You don't even gotta look good. Because I've seen a lot of women that are ugly that are dating people.
The man's gonna pay for everything. He's gonna dote on you.
That's not true. That's not true.
Most of the time, it is gonna happen.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you can get.
You live in like some sort of like fantasy world.
People are nicer to you. You can start crying, and the world will bend to your every.
No, but wait. It's not easier. Maybe you're looking at this dating thing, and you're finding one page in a whole paragraph, in a whole chapter. It's tougher to be a woman.
How?
It's not. How?
Hey guys, what bullshit are we talking about? We're talking about women's rights? How you guys?
Have you ever seen the experiment where it was an ugly woman asking for directions and nobody helped her?
Eton was in the middle of talking, so let's let him finish.
First of all, and Norm probably knows this prayer which you praise. We thank God for not creating us a woman, and that's not meant to derail women in any way, but it's just to point out how difficult it is to be a woman. Now, when we talk about how difficult it is to be a woman, yes, we can mention the sociological pressures, which I think TJ has brought up that maybe we were discussing, but there's also the biological pressures. Women are stuck. A man can leave a woman really can't leave a man so easily. It's not that simple. So the fact
yes, they can. Nowadays, women leave men all the time.
Well, nowadays, but historically, we have.
I'm talking about today. I'm talking about in 2024.
Even men is still not
Yeah, I don't want to stop you, Ethan. Please continue.
Okay, that's nice.
Anytime.
It's okay. It's great. So listen. I just think that when we look at sexual harassment, there are far more cases of harassment against women than men. It's not easy. Just
okay, the thing is harassment. Let's stop with harassment. That's
No.
Subjective is a very... Okay, I'm going to have to move you to the audience. Harassment, that's a very subjective term. So sexual harassment could be repeated compliments. Oh, you look really pretty today. Oh, you look really pretty today, each day. And then the woman could go, he keeps calling me pretty every day. I feel uncomfortable. I'm sexually harassed. You know what I mean? So is that like for someone to call me pretty and maybe to look at me?
But you
like,
agree that the concept exists, but you found a very light, extreme to disqualify it. But however, there are extreme cases, and most of those extreme cases of harassment, if not all of them, are addressed in women and not in men. It's more difficult to be a woman these days for a number of reasons. Pregnancy doesn't seem like a picnic to me, and there are women who do it several times. They have several children.
A lot of women like being pregnant, though. They want to be pregnant. They like the. I think it's a privilege.
I don't know that it's a choice, though. I mean, it's a choice, but it's. But you're gonna. Okay, I see where we're going with this. It's just still. I don't think it's easy to be a woman.
Like in the job market today, think about when you go to school and universities. There's such a push for girls to go into STEM. There's such a push for girls to excel. And that's why you're seeing like colleges now, they're majority women as opposed to men. And I think a lot of men now, straight men are seeing, especially young ones, that maybe back in your day, Eton, there was more of a gender roles and there was like the man does this, the man does that, and there was a benefit to being a man and people respected being a man. But now, women can do everything that a man can do, and it's like there's no sort of like honor in being a man anymore, at all.
Yeah, look, again, I know, is the concern here that feminism is gone out of whack? Is that what you're trying to get at?
No, how this all started was basically I was saying how like it's just women have more privilege than men. That's all I'm saying, and I think they always have more privilege than men.
But remember, the shelters out there for battered women. I don't know if there are any shelters for battered men.
There's barely any. And that's the thing too. Domestic violence, like statistics, men get hit just as much as women do. But there is a stigma for a man to call the police on a woman. He will be called every type of bitch, every type of punk. And then too, the shelters are all for women. There's like 2 men-only shelters in the whole country because the idea is men can't get hurt. But women, I've seen this. Women can attack men. Women hit men. Women throw things at men. But as soon as the man even looks like he's about to hit her, the cops are called.
Clearly, you're striving for an equality, and I agree with you. But again, equality, it doesn't mean that the problem is equally distributed. Yes, we want outcomes where everyone gets treated equally. And feminism, for some people, has threatened that. I can see that. Okay, I understand that. But the problem does seem to be more pervasive and more intensive faced in women than it does in men. And I think you might agree with that.
Yeah, no, I don't. Men have it a lot harder.
So there are equal number of women. Men are just as equally scared of women as women are of men, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying, no. Well, actually, in a way, maybe. Because literally all a woman has to do, think about it. A woman, you could be walking down the street and a girl could be like, oh my God, he touched me. Like, as you walk down the street, a girl passes you and says to you, Eton, oh my God, he touched me. What is that?
But
everybody is going to look at you and think that you're a monster. They're not going to ask and
please. Jealous.
So a lot of times women, they can literally just lie.
Not here.
There you go. And how many societies is what you're saying applies? The vast majority of patriarchal societies in the world, they haven't got to that yet. So
I'm talking about Western civilization. Western civilization. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, can I weigh in?
Sure.
So first and foremost, what is the point of patriarchy? As we are the mother of civilization, right? As Africa. So the point of patriarchy is to make sure that women are comfortable to begin with.
Exactly.
So that we make sure that they're okay, everything is okay, they don't do, so that they don't have to do all of the bullshit.
That's called theory, but what has happened?
No, not about theory. It's actually how it's supposed to be, and that's how it's been working for millennia. It's just now this whole nonsense.
That's the way it's supposed to be, and who wrote that that's the way it's supposed to be?
No, it has been like that for millennia. No one wrote it. It's just inherent. No, Ethan. I will just say Ethan, since there's no TH in your name. Ethan. There's the way how things work in life is the strong people do the hard shit, and then the weak people focus on the children, focus on all
right. That's the
example. But there's nothing called the females and males. It is civilization. That is how civilization works. If the civilization does not work that way, then you guys are fucked. Then you guys don't make babies, and then if you don't make babies, then you don't have a civilization.
Okay,
so the whole point.
TGN, let me ask you this: who is more privileged than in the patriarchy?
The woman is more privileged in the patriarchy.
Okay.
I told you. I said my first statement was the whole point of a fucking patriarchy is to make the life of the woman easy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's the whole fucking point. The whole point wasn't like it's just to make sure. Like the whole point in like for example, when you go to prom, it's surrounded by a woman. If you're the man. You're going to kill and hunt a wildebeest or whatever. You kill what do you call it? You kill the animal. You're bringing home the meat. What is the responsibility of the woman? The woman is supposed to bring the vegetable, eating shit.
Will I get a chance to speak now? Okay, what you're talking about?
No. I'm not done, Ethan. You spoke a lot of things.
30 seconds, TGN.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, Josh. So, the whole point of the system. This system is about making sure everyone's okay. In Namibia, in our system here, we have 50-50 representation in all political and business structures, mostly political, where from the lowest and the highest levels, if, let's say, for example, the chairperson position is filled by a man, the deputy chairperson must be filled by a female. That is how it works here in Namibia, and that's why we have 58% representation, one of the highest representation of women in our country. Yes, we still have patriarchy in force, but we do value their opinion on certain things. Yes, men do control everything in terms of certain things like security, apparatus, and whatsoever. But we don't make them too subservient. But we understand what they say. Okay, thank you very much for your opinion. We will implement what needs to be done. But
what are you defending?
What I'm saying is there's a balance to things.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's not an absolute thing. But we must understand one thing, that men must control the system, or women, but it must be man-dominated somehow, because we are biologically strong.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right, we got it. So
no, but you don't seem to understand our system. You're forgetting I'm coming from a society where we have 53% of our parliament is ruled by women, and we are actually going to elect our first women president in November. I'm telling you,
that shows privilege.
No, it shows that our patriarchy system, it is a male-dominated society, but we do have, I'm not yelling. We do support women, even though it is a male-dominated society. That's what I'm saying. But let you to speak. I'm going to stop. What is your point?
Yes, we get it. No, I get it. So, Eton, go ahead.
Well, first of all, to say that because they're biologically stronger, it really doesn't mean that they should be making more decisions. I don't see if someone can bench press 300 pounds or whatever, should make the decisions in the house if he's a responsible drunkard and didn't finish high school, as opposed to his wife who may have had a doctorate. That doesn't make any sense to me. What I'm hearing here is, because you're saying it's always been this way, so it should always be this way. It's called inherited thinking, and progress has always been made when we thought outside of the box. And civilization has been flourished because we did that. We thought, we were cerebral, we were thinking, we were sensitive, we had feelings. And this whole biological bit is just fit for the jungle. And I would think that we're beyond that. We're civilized.
We are beyond that. That's why I'm trying to tell you, Ethan. We have literally a majority of our parliamentarians are women. We are going to elect our first ever woman president in November.
They're not doing a favor for anybody. It just happens to
we
be.
are.
This discussion started out that it was more easy to be a woman than to be a man, and I found that.
No, okay, I don't know about that part. All I'm just saying is, from my perspective, from our country of Namibia, we actually uplift women a lot. A lot. As a matter of fact, the youngest parliamentarian in the world comes from is a woman.
So you're proud that it's less patriarchal, man. You are proud of the progress
I don't think you seem to understand what patriarchy means. I think we have a different definition of what patriarchy means.
Again, but the subject was about women having it easier than men, which was hurting my ears to hear that, because I don't find it on any level. Like I pointed out, sociologically, biologically, any way possible, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense that it's easier to be a woman than to be a man. So
what can a man do in 2024 that a woman can't do in 2024 in a Western civilization?
No, in today's age, even
let Ethan answer.
Okay, Cordy wants to answer.
Okay, go ahead.
I was responding to Ethan, but okay, Cody.
No, I just don't think you're taking into account the fact that no matter what career position, a man is always the top. I'm a massage therapist, and I cannot get a job with an Olympian or a professional sports team over a male, even though it's a female-dominated field. Even if I'm going to a 5-star restaurant, if I'm a female, I'm not going to get a job as a server over a man. It's still male-dominated.
Really?
You can do the same things. Absolutely.
So you're telling me at a restaurant, they would rather hire male waiters than female waiters?
The higher up you go, I'm talking 5-star Michelin star, you're going to see male waiters. Maybe not cocktail waitresses, that's different. But the more professional you get, you're going to have males hired over females.
Look, guys, I think we have it all figured out here in Namibia. The fact that we have literally zebra policy in all levels of leadership positions, whether let's say, for example, if you're a CEO, your deputy CEO, if the CEO is a male, the deputy CEO must be a female. If the CEO is a female, the deputy CEO must be a male. That's how we operate fully within my society. So
like
before
Namibia or something like that, it's like it's a very small country, mostly empty.
3 million. 3 million is not a small number, but okay.
It's about small number.
And also, our territory is the size of the whole eastern coast of the United States.
Right. So, okay, all right. So, Cordy, I guess what I'm hearing you saying is people take men more seriously, respect them more as opposed to women.
Not only that, because biologically they're stronger, they can do more. Like, you're not going to ever want to be protected by an army of women over an army of men, ever.
Yeah, and that's that is how things work. But should that be a problem? Because the whole point of patriarchy is to make sure that the woman is good and protected.
Yeah,
by all costs necessary.
That's not a problem. My whole thing is that is women have the privilege in patriarchy, and I'm saying like, and we always think it's the male privilege, but like you said, the patriarchy is for the benefit of the women. It's about making women more comfortable. So what I'm saying is like, it's more of a privilege to be a woman than a man. It's more a privilege to be protected than to be the protector.
Exactly, 100%. Why is that? The reason why it's like that is because we put their seed in them. They're the ones that are going to make babies from us. And because they're the ones that are the producers of the generations. That's why.
Exactly. Go ahead, Utah.
So men get to choose what's better for women than women get to choose. But I don't see women choosing patriarchy. I really don't. But you're saying that it's okay for a man to decide this is what's better based on this criteria because a man can decide that.
Those ones that are saying that they don't know what they're fucking talking about. Yeah, they are the first ones to say, oh, fuck patriarchy, hey! But then they get wrong, they go for a man to solve the problem. If it has to let's say, for example, if something is broken in the house, they go for a man to solve the problem. It's just hypocrisy. Anyone that says, I only respect women that actually understand what goes on and they understand their place, like the president that we're going to elect in November, the Tubo which is the first female president of our country, her husband was a former chief of defense force. So you can just see already that we got this shit on lock in terms of this whole concept.
Can I ask you a question, DJ, and a logical question? Who decides, who knows better what women want? Men know what women want, or women know what women want?
The masculine females that understand the system are the ones that know what women want.
They know better than women what women want?
Yeah, there's those females, the females that are aligned with third wave of feminism, not the fourth one. Third wave of feminism, those females of the early 2000s, of early feminism, of early 2000 feminism, those ones, yes, those ones understand what's going on.
Women do not know what they want. They need men to tell them what to want.
No, I told you. There is a class of women that understand what's going on.
Be nice.
And then, unfortunately, the newer one, the fourth wave, fifth wave of feminism that you're talking about, they don't know any shit. They are saying things that don't make sense. That's why I'm saying third wave of feminism, especially here in Africa, we know exactly what's going on here. That bullshit that you're talking about.
Okay, what knows better what Africans want? White people from Europe?
Because we are the bosom of humanity, so of course we understand what goes on.
Okay, but white people have constantly throughout the generations said we know what Africans want. We will
No, they are talking bullshit. They're just talking bullshit. They are sucking balls.
You really don't.
Excuse me?
You don't see the parallel, and you don't see how horrible.
No, I see the parallel. I'm telling you. No.
You want to tell somebody else, I know what you want for you better than you know what you want for yourself?
He said masculine women. He said masculine women know better what they want. He didn't say men. He said masculine women.
Yes. Masculine women from my continent know exactly what needs to be done.
Well, I know that you're not a masculine woman, so maybe it's not your place to say what.
No, it is my place to say because I'm actually campaigning for one that will become the first woman president of our country in November.
Okay, well, with all due respect, I heard quite a bit. With all due respect to your country, I don't know where it is today, but if this is what it's.
We just found oil, by the way. We just found oil.
Oil is a natural resource. It's not a psychological, personal, mature development of the human society. That's what we.
All I'm just trying to say is, this whole feminism, the new wave of feminism is not realistic. You must, feminism in its ideals, we understand that women must have a say in leadership. That is why we introduced the policy. No, wait. It done. Wait. That's why we say, yes, women must have a say in leadership positions. There must be manager woman in position, like popular position. Yes, they must have a say in things. They must have a contribution in terms of certain things. Yes, but they must also understand that they can't do everything.
Nicholas, it would just be like okay. Just 1 second, Nicholas, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my fellow brother from Florida. It would just be really odd and really hypocritical for Hillary Clinton, of all people, who claims that Donald Trump is trying to subvert democracy, for Hillary Clinton to actually be the one to subvert democracy. That would be quite.
Hey, Nick, let me say one thing. You can jump in right after.
Oh,
the only people that have a problem, that should have a problem with Hillary, are Democrats. If Democrats accept it, then there's nobody else outside that party that should argue with. I don't know about the rules or anything, but like only people I hear that argue about different people replacing Biden are Republicans. But like I don't hear Democrats arguing about it. At the end of the day, that's their party. So if they're okay with it, I don't think no one else have a right to say they are subverting democracy or anything else. If they are okay with it, that's their party. I'm
So I was gonna say real quick, there are other Democrats on this app, particularly talking about who might replace Biden. So it's not just, and no one is proposing Hillary so far. And most of the people are saying Kamala, right? And then the second thing I wanted to say was,
Nicholas,
come on, one more sentence, brother Roger,
Nicholas,
one more.
Hold on,
Nicholas.
Nicholas, let me just interject. Oh, hold on.
Fine.
Real quick. I just want to. It's very quick. Alex Jones is the one that said that Hillary's going to run. That's the part you mean.
So you interrupted me to say something you could have said after. I gotta be better. I gotta train people better on this app because it's becoming too normal for people to cut me off. But anyways, the second thing I was gonna say was there was actually another person from Florida who got arrested this morning for threatening to kill Donald Trump. So now it's becoming like a trend.
It wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you, but they arrested him in Jupiter, Florida. He was saying he was gonna massacre Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. But that's all I have to say. Go ahead.
like Clubhouse is a great sample size. I don't think Clubhouse is a great sample size where there's a lot of people kind of, in on what's happening with the Democratic Party. But I don't.
I think you have to remember the superdelegate system that they have, and every Democratic member of Congress is a superdelegate. Every governor that's a Democrat is a superdelegate, and then the inner circle of the party. So it's different than the Republican convention, how they operate. And if it's an open convention, the superdelegates get to vote in the first round.
They do.
Just saying.
I'm just saying it's really odd that they would host a primary process, that they would host a primary process that shuts out people like Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson, a primary process that they throw tens of millions of dollars behind one particular person, and then they allow their constituents to partake in the primary process, which the constituents are under the belief that they hey, thanks for participating, but we're going to go a different direction anyways.
Well,
to me, that is subversion of the democracy.
For the most part, like incumbent presidents don't get a primary run.
What?
He may have. Incumbent presidents usually don't get a primary run. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but please do. But maybe Biden should have. But if they didn't, but the Democrats aren't complaining about replacing Biden, I think it's a moot point. Like any Republican, it sounds like clear to me that Republicans are worried about who might run and subverting democracy. Let the Democrats control their party and worry about who their nominee is. If they're not, may I finish? I can't finish. Okay, I can't finish. I'll be quiet.
Can I respond to him after he finishes?
When I'm done. As is always the protocol in this house. I don't know what's new. You can put whatever emoji you want up, Florida. You can also take your ass to the audience if you don't like it. Right? I don't happen to care if you participate or not. You are not one of the people I consider to be of value that are on the stage right now. So you can choose to participate.
I don't consider myself valued.
Or you can get the fuck out. I don't care either way. Right? I don't want to see the little rolly eye emojis, so do it again, and I'm putting you in the audience so I don't have to see it on the screen.
Oh my god, we have to protect white men, Brennan. Come on now, be nice.
We already have a representative of Florida. It's you, Nicholas.
I'm sorry.
We don't need two. So I would have already been done if people hadn't gotten in their fucking feelings. But what I was going to say is the subverting piece is comical because the voters picked Biden and the Biden ticket. If Biden steps out, Biden is saying, hey, thanks for your vote. I am stepping down. I am opening the door for us to use the party apparatus to decide in the way we always have. These are the rules that exist. This is what the apparatus is. By voting for Biden, people voted for his decisions. If he makes the decision to step out now, they voted for his decision. That then opens the door, and the mechanism is not to run a new primary. You put your support behind guy number one. Guy number one got the vast majority and is the presumptive nominee. If he steps out now, the party apparatus follows its rules, which allow all of the delegates and superdelegates in a contested or open convention to decide who gets to run. Now, Biden could not. He could tell them all to fuck themselves. They can't force him out. So Biden might hold on and be the representative. But if he chooses to step out in the same way when anybody is in a primary and they step out, their voters put the weight behind their person and that person's decisions. And if their person steps out of the process early, you put your weight and support behind that person. So accept their decision and let it be.
Fran, you also have to look at the money. People that donated to the Biden-Harris ticket. So essentially, if he steps out, she still has control of that money. And they'd have to offer for what they haven't already spent. If it's a different ticket, I think, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, they actually would have to offer the money back to the people that donated to that ticket if that's not the ticket that's running? I mean, tell me how you think the money would flow.
Nobody disputed that, Andy.
I'm not just asking if that's...
Everybody understands that that's Biden and Kamala's money. But like the dispute was like it's subverting democracy if someone else get put in that spot. So everybody understand the money part. So like that's not up for debate.
I wasn't trying to debate it. I was just asking if people thought that was also the case, that they'd have to offer the money back.
A logical choice for them to.
The money can be dispersed through like super PACs without any sort of legal issue, is my understanding.
Craig, what if you gave $1 million to the Biden-Harris ticket, and that's not the ticket that's running? Do you think you have a right to, and the money wasn't spent yet? Do you think you have a right to it back?
This was something even following the debate, a lot of larger donors were being like, what the actual fuck was going on. But, you know, for the sake of saving, you know, branding and everything like that, and keeping the Biden name, just run Hunter, right? It'd be a fun election. Pretty boy, maybe slipping Gavin Newsom in there as well. That might shake things up a bit.
Yeah, no, you don't deserve your money back. You don't have a right to your money back. You gave your money to an organization, and that organization's allowed to do what they want with your money.
So Biden's ticket, Biden-Harris ticket, you didn't give it to the DNC. You gave it to a campaign.
But you gave it to a PAC. You gave that $1 million to a super PAC.
Not necessarily.
Well, you're capped at what, $1,300?
Yeah, $1 million donation would have to go to a super PAC.
I just
that's how
for $5,700 for a member of Congress. I know is the cap. What's the cap into a presidential race? I know I get capped at 56 for.
Well, that's for individuals, but super PACs are unlimited. The thing is that nobody fully understands this stuff perfectly because states have their own regulations. What's most likely to happen, and again, you guys can defer to your own experts on here, but what's most likely to happen is that if Biden steps down and Kamala stays on the ticket, she'll have control of it. But if he decides he wants to drop out of the race, he could there's things that are within his control to do. He could return the donations to the people that have made the contributions. He could he could give the money to a charitable organization, or he could give the money to another campaign. Those are all options that are on the table. And it's interesting because every state's going to have their own laws on this stuff. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody fully knows exactly. I'll put it this way: no matter what happens, there's going to be people making legal challenges, which is why anyone saying that they know for sure what's going to happen is just crazy. Because some of this stuff is unprecedented because we're going to get into areas where we just haven't been before. When this happens, like with state-run candidates and they have campaign funds and then they drop out and they donate it, nobody even cares. The only reason why we're even having this debate is because the stakes are so high and the money is a large sum. But there's a lot of legal tools that they have at their disposal. There's no one right answer of what's.
But Roger, it's federal campaign laws. It's not governed by states on this. This is all federal.
Well, with all due respect, if you collect that money through a state and you donate it at the federal level, you're still subject to state laws. Sorry, I mean, when it comes to raising money for campaigns, this is something that I know a little bit about, and I can tell you that every state's got their own fucking laws, and yes, the federal has their own laws as well. But if you were to interpret the FEC's decisions on these things, then theoretically, Biden could donate the money to a charity. He could give the money back to the donors, or he could just give it to a different campaign. Those are all three options that are within his control at the federal level, and that's before the state starts saying, "Wait a minute, here's where the money came in from," and that's subject to state law. So this idea that anybody's got all the answers is just crazy. Nobody does, including people that have been following this shit closely for.
So I can all sleep easy knowing he's not going to spend it on ice cream. What happens if a candidate dies?
No, you're my favorite breather.
what happens if a candidate dies? Like, that's the worst case scenario, but what is will Duke donors have a case pursuing if that's, I mean, this is kind of extreme, but I'm just curious. Does anybody know what happens in that?
It doesn't seem reasonable that anybody would be able to just demand their money back and have some sort of a legal obligation to it. You gave your money to an organization, not particularly the Biden-Harris ticket directly, but rather a private organization that represents Biden and Harris's decision making. They're now the ones in charge of your money in this regard.
Right. That's not to say they won't get their money back, but that decision will be made by the person that runs it.
Yeah, I'm just saying it doesn't seem like a...
One thing. And the problem, the thing I don't get, the only people that have a problem with our Republicans or Trump supporters, let the Democrats handle it. Like y'all worried about him losing or the democracy being subverted. Who cares? If you love your candidate and you think he's the best person, just support him. And he should win. But worrying about setting up an argument or a straw man that setting up a straw man that or the Democrats cheated because they put up a new candidate. That's what I hear when I hear you guys worried about who the Democrats may put up. Okay,
no one's Hakima.
Okay, no, don't talk to me. If I can't talk, don't even talk to me.
You can talk, but understand where I'm coming from.
I agree with you, Hakima.
I agree with you, man. I just want to follow up by saying that when it comes to Republicans, they will fall in line. If you're going to die in office, yeah, they don't care where that money goes to as long as it's another Republican.
I'm talking about the people on this app who setting up the straw man of subverting democracy and worrying about what the Democrats do with their money. I mean, they got by. Let the Democrats handle it.
I'm right here, bro. You can talk to me directly. It's cool.
Can I jump in? I'm not hearing fear. I'm hearing analysis of, here is the situation that they're in. What are they going to do about the situation? I think that's a normal thing to go through if you're challenging an opponent to understand their situation.
So I'm going to ask everybody in here to, and I'm going to do this kindly, right? I get a certain level of response from most of you because you know what my response will be if you don't. Somehow Dr. Jordan, Hakima, other people who get moderated, y'all think you can just interrupt like it's acceptable. And this is not a shot at one person, but it does tend to happen to certain people. Kelly doesn't get interrupted in that way. I don't get interrupted in that way. Roger doesn't get interrupted in that way, other than by most egregious people. But somehow Hakima and Dr. Jordan and a couple of others seem to be up for fair game on that. So I just want to be very clear. If somebody is moderated, they've been moderated, especially if it's a room I opened, they've been moderated by choice, which means I am extending the magic Brenny shield around that person, and I don't want to scream at people, right? I really don't enjoy it much. It ruins the ability. Hakima might take a little longer than I do, and that's perfectly fine. I'm much more long-winded than Kelly, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to ask everybody to try to not interrupt. We all get excited, but I like to hear what Hakima has to say, even if half of it's going to be flat earth and batshit crazy. There's a reason why I choose to mod him. So if we could all not run over the nicer people, I would really appreciate it.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm right here, so I'm the one making the claim that I feel as if it is a subversion of democracy, and I'll stand by my words on that. The political process, although there are back-end ways to make things happen that are already established by the committees and the... Go ahead. I don't want to be accused of cutting you off. Okay, then I'll continue. Look, I'm not scared. Hakima, I've already had this conversation with you. I likely am not even going to be voting for Trump. I haven't 100% decided this yet, but it's 60-40 right now that I'm probably not. All right, so I'm not one of the Republican Trump MAGA fucking lunatics that you want to like put me in the same box as. And what I'm saying is definitely not fear. What I'm saying is that it's hypocritical for the Democrats to choose a non-democratic process for determining their elected official. There's a democratic process in place, which is called the primary, and their back end, their plan B, that is a not so democratic process. It's quite literally, it's an internal thing. It's all run by committee at that.
And the only thing I was saying is, like, shouldn't the Democrats, the party, the voters, like, shouldn't they be the people have a problem with it? Like, I mean, I haven't heard a Democrat complain about replacing Joe Biden. So, like, my only point is I'm only hearing it from Trump supporters. So, like, that's why I get the part of this fear. Because other than that, I don't think no one should worry about the subverting democracy thing. If the party's not talking about it, if they talk about it, then jump on the bandwagon. If they're not talking about it, I don't see the issue at all.
Well, people don't like to get called out for their hypocrisy, right? And we do know that in 2016, the left was up in arms. The grassroots Bernie Sanders supporters, they were furious with the way the DNC and the superdelegates ended up handing over the nomination to Hillary Clinton on a silver platter, without a question, without a doubt, right? They were livid about that.
What about now? I get that, but I mean, I'm not a Democrat, but I was livid about that. They did Bernie dead wrong. But at the end of the day, though, I don't see the argument where Republicans or Trump supporters is going to worry about the DNC's process. If the voters, if the actual voters who voted in that primary or could have voted, if they're not saying anything, I legit do not see an argument.
Right. I mean, it could just be the case, for me at least, I won't speak for anybody else, and I'll land my plane after this. I'll go on mute. I won't speak again. It seems to me that I'm a supporter of America, America first, and American democracy as we know it. That means that I support the right for the people to elect their nominee for the highest position in the executive branch of the government. And that's through the primary process. Doesn't matter whether I lean left or lean right or lean centrist or lean up or lean down or whatever, right? Doesn't matter if I'm bending over or backwards or whatever. Fact of the matter, pause. So the fact of the matter is that if there's a non-democratic process being implemented, it seems quite literally hypocritical coming from Democrats.
May I comment on this for a second? And this is not from fear, it's just from some logic and how the Republicans will react to it. And I literally an hour and a half ago, I had a conversation about this with a Democrat who's a member of Congress, specifically about the money. So when you use money that's directly donated to your campaign, you get a very significant discount when you buy media, when you buy television ads, substantially less than when a PAC buys media and television ads. So there could be an argument, if there's a different nominee, that the money was given directly to one campaign, and then the new campaign is using funds that weren't directly donated to them to take advantage of that discount. And you might see some Republican pushback on some of the advantages that happen when it's a direct donation. I'm just speculating that you could see some challenges under the federal campaign laws. And that's not out of fear, that's just out of logic, looking at it as to how this could play out. And it is messy, and it could go in different directions, but there is definitely an advantage and a difference between PAC money and direct donation money.
And what I'm confused about, and why I call it fear on the Republican part, is that you're talking about the money, but like I thought it was established that no one besides Biden or Kamala could use that money.
I'll try to answer you. Not fully established.
I wasn't done, but you got to
sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, and I won't. When you're done, you let me.
It depends on the burn rate, how much cash Democrats got left in the coffers. Yep.
I mean,
it was last week that the donors said that they freezing $90 million because Biden is at the top. So I mean, I think it's well established that they got control of the funds and no other person besides Kamala can use the money. So to throw out the conspiracy theories that some other person may use the money, I mean, I don't see where that's coming from because it's not bounded in law at all.
Well,
okay, I'll be quiet.
Okay, so it is bound in law, and there's federal campaign laws, and it's not a conspiracy theory, and it would be very common for there to be a challenge on the use of the campaign funds, and you by all means should research it and go look at the federal campaign laws and look at the advantages of direct donation into a campaign versus a PAC donation. Go read it. I'm not giving you a conspiracy theory. I'm just telling you what's happened with respect to campaigns in the past, and a conversation I had an hour and a half ago with a Democrat member of Congress, also a conversation about whether the number was real, about how many allegedly...
Oh, for you, Angela, I'll mute this Jew attorney bitch. How are you, darling? Never think that I won't throw a stupid Jew attorney bitch underneath a bus to get to a great piece of ass. That's just me, baby.
Why do you record everything you find?
Well, what I don't understand. Well, see, I know you're pretty well off. You live in Newport Beach. You milked your ex-husband and all that. But the point is, I can't believe people come to this app. Everybody must be very wealthy if they're willing to just talk all day long and not get paid for it.
Into a campaign versus a PAC.
What are you doing tonight? It's 5:44.
Is this some live room you're recording or?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it here on Clubhouse? Because
Yeah.
I don't see anyone.
That's because you're blocked, probably.
Can you throw in the room link in the chat? Is it
No! Shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's Ben's room.
Oh, that bitch. Were you there when I fought with him?
No, I didn't hear it.
Oh yeah, he kicked me out. Because I said, you're too emotional to be a judge. You probably were a DEI pick and you're gay. Called him name.
Oh.
He was like, what? You know, I was running around with Monica's PTR, and my PTR was Monica's picture. Monica KKK, the fat, obese, fat chick.
Oh, that is her, huh?
That's Monica. Yeah, so I've been running around with Monica's picture, and this whole time Brent thought it's me. So she called me like, have you guys seen her? Like fat, obese, little Shrek-looking bitch. And I was cracking up. I was like, what the hell? Is that why you hate me? Because he keeps kicking me out of the stage. Like,
man, for such an ugly bitch, she does have a very, I don't know, like babyish, hypnotic voice.
Right? I could not believe I said, this is not the voice that comes out of this.
Yeah. So that's the funny thing about the internet. Sometimes when you meet, like, I've met a lot of people. Yeah, I've met a lot of people from the internet, and when you meet them in real life, you're like, ugh.
Yeah. And I have the ugliest voice. And I know that. But my point is, like, her voice doesn't match her body at all. But he thought that was me. So he was, like, talking shit, saying, like, oh, this fat, obese bitch, and she's always so loud. He dropped me in the audience.
That's very funny.
So I wrote in the chat, I was like, well, first of all, he thinks that Monica KK was cracking up. And then I was like, you're too emotional to be a judge. You must have been a DEI pick. And he kicked me out.
He's smart, but he's not that much smarter than other people. Rod?
Stupid, trust me.
No, I know he's stupid, but
he knows certain things because of the exposure he had through his privilege of job that he had.
Well, look at it this way. I was thinking, like, to judge intelligence is a complicated thing because he might, even if he's a little dumber, because he's a psychopathic faggot, he's basically a dangerous or manipulative. Anyways, you see what I'm saying is, like, in some ways, because he's so psychotic, he might be a little smarter. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? He's alpha psycho smart. Yeah.
Yeah, psycho, yes. Manipulative, yes.
Yeah,
effective, yes. Smart, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's very effective in what he does because of whatever. If he really was a judge, then yeah, I don't know how he became.
He's the kind of judge. Yeah, if you piss him off in the court, you're gonna regret it. He's
You're done, yeah.
he's a total psychopath.
But here's what I don't understand with successful people, Edmund. To me, I have zero respect for you, and I will always question your success if you can't even succeed in controlling your body. When you're an obese, badass, sloppy shit, how did you accomplish
his smoke detector goes off in the background. What is that? That tells you everything you need to know about a person.
How can you accomplish anything if you can't even lose a freaking 100 pounds and be healthy and live longer?
Listen, the guy is obvious. If you saw what he really looked like in real life, you'd be like, ooh, damn. Like, he's dying. He is on the way out.
I've seen his picture. I think he used to put his real picture up. And he is like one of those, like, the shows on TV. There's like my 600-pound fiance type of thing. He looks like that. He looks like that.
That's scary. Well, that's the thing about Clown House is it's a little bit like a movie where it feels so real, but what we're really doing is we're listening to totally uncredible people talk about the world's most important issues. Right. So yeah, the background doesn't match the foreground, and thus they're Clown House heroes, real world zeros, and we're all thinking that they're real world heroes, and they're all Clown House zeros.
That's what I was saying. I said, Brent, thank God this is just Clubhouse. Your green badge, I don't know how you were a judge if you were a judge, but if you were, you probably were a DEI pick.
Oh, that must have pissed him off.
Is he really a judge, do you know? Was he really
a judge? Who knows and who cares?
I can't imagine a judge, first of all, being on this Clown House, and secondly, being a fat, obese moron like he is.
Well, I've posted videos of him to YouTube, like Judge Brent, Los Angeles federal judge. I've like tried to dox him, and because one time he had this room and he was talking about all his sexual history.
He talks about.
So and he was talking about some of his trials. With regards to like all kinds of things, and so I was just like, if this is really real, I was like, then this guy should be disbarred or he should be suspended, and like I would love to be the person responsible for him saying, one of you motherfuckers decided to put me on fucking YouTube and you got me suspended. Like, if I was that guy, I would like do a Jew dance in my living room that would start the house on fire. You know what I'm saying?
And while he's going around in his little like, what do you call those little like handicapped strollers?
I am gonna sue him, and I told the moderators not to let him in the rooms, and he filmed me talking about my sex life. This is private. Like, he is the worst, and Hakima too. I cannot stand listening to him. Angel. Oh.
At least Hakima's dumb doesn't claim to be someone important. He's dumb, and he admits he's dumb. In fact, he admits he's a drug dealer because he defends drug dealers with his life.
Yeah, so, I know. Isn't that funny? I wonder what kind of drugs he deals, though. I mean, he must.
Who knows?
Anyways, yeah. It's horribly annoying because like you want to be able to like fight these people, but honestly, the green bean is the manager bean. And I've worked with many managers, and some are excellent people, and some are totally ignorant, obnoxious, and they can't string words together. I mean, they're just losers. And some people are there for DEI, and technically, Hakima is the Healthy Debates DEI hire.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, but the craziest thing is he's here all the time. So as a result, we all have to listen to this motherfucker, and you know, it's what it is. Yeah. But see, the thing is,
even Kelly, the lesbo, annoying Kelly, her voice is worse than mine. Even she's annoyed with him, and Roger's annoyed with him. And they're all annoyed with him, but they're not removing him because, like you said, he's the DEI pickup Clubhouse.
Well, that's Bren sitting on his gay throne, laughing at everybody, going, "Fuck all these people. Let them deal with Akima. Fuck them."
It reminds me of Clubhouse. Who's that fat kid on Clubhouse with glasses who's always in front of a computer?
Who are you talking about?
Not Clubhouse. South Park.
Oh.
The fat kid from South Park.
I know. He is, anyways, I have been, Roger has opened rooms and I've like enjoyed going in there and chatting with him. He's very smart, I think he's one of the smartest people on the app. There's a couple like McZed is very smart. But anyways, honestly, this is all content and I cannot believe people come here and just have these casual conversations, don't get paid for it. Like everybody must be rich. Everybody.
Yeah.
Other or
really for entertainment. I'm here for entertainment. Like my fiance travels for shooting. He's a world champion in shooting. So when he's gone, I have nothing else to do. I'm just sitting here, chilling.
You're a loser. You're a loser. Do something with your life.
I have things. I go work out. I go hang out with my friends.
Well, try to do some charity work and try to do some local charity work for people. You can do incredibly good things.
I do more than you believe. I have rescued 7,000 people from Afghanistan that were Jewish and Christian. I don't talk about these things, but I do my thing. I do my fair share. But sometimes I'm just lazy and I don't watch TV, so I'm on Clubhouse. I just want to entertain myself because there's so many clowns going on.
Yeah, but then why don't you film yourself, and just live stream yourself and podcast this and just make it your podcast? Like you yourself, you're not capturing this. It's capturing you. Do you see my point?
Yeah. They clipped me. I had 4,200 followers. I could have done, I had these houses with 5,000 members. I could have done good political rooms, which I wanted to do for elections. But now the stupid people clipped me, and now I have to start all over again, and there's no point. It's just annoying, but I'm here for entertainment, is what I was saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can open a room, and just because these numbers say you have 4,200, I mean, there is something about like the stickiness of people, meaning that people, it's not the numbers in your profile; they're attracted to people. Hakima
is. You can't get anyone to see your room if they're not in your house or following you. The stupid dumb app.
Yeah, it's true. Isn't that crazy? This is the dumbest app in the world.
Like I used to have 5,000 members in my think tank. .2. Remember?
That's impossible. Look at it this way. You can go to Healthy Debates right now. Look at everybody on stage. Look at the audience. And it's the same people. I don't see one party hat, meaning that there's not one new person. So what does that tell you? That they are not growing this app. And
no, they're not growing this app, but the existing members still keep seeing the rooms for Healthy Debate. My members won't see my rooms anymore because my club is gone.
Well,
my house is gone.
I get that, but what my point is, you think those numbers in your house were real. It's not. Like, you can go to Healthy Debates. Let me put it this way. This app has to be government funded because there is no way that this small group of white Americans or Americans in general, we're talking like 50 people on this app. That's it. How is this app still functioning? There's nobody here. There's nobody on it. No, I know there's other rooms, but not like this room. Not like Healthy Debates, meaning that you have white intelligentsia. All other rooms are basically black entertainment rooms.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of black entertainment rooms.
There's a lot of Christian rooms, but those are like really dysfunctional rooms. I can't believe that they sit in rooms and they don't even really talk about Jesus or the Bible. Anyways, this is the craziest observational app in the world in terms of surveillance, because what your standards of normal are versus like what my normal standards are. I mean, you can listen to Norm and Hampton go back and forth for an hour and a gay person demand that his future husband have rights. Like, it's the craziest, cringe, bizarre, funny app at the same time. Like, it's content, it's entertainment. So I know that's why you're here, but you are not entertaining. You should try to cultivate, like, I know you lost your audience, but you should film this and put it on YouTube. What do you have to lose? You don't have, like, if it's professional, it's professional. If it's comedy, it's comedy. But like, you don't have anything to fear about like live streaming your online activities. You should do it. You're hot. You could have a big social media presence.
No, I'm planning to run for office soon.
Oh, so you don't want to do it?
So I don't want to be too much in public, and I don't want to be. That's why I'm not using my profile picture anymore. I'm trying to stay low key.
Oh, I see. Well, all right.
People are crazy on this app, and I don't want to be too much in public, right? Just yet.
Well, that's the thing is when you are public on Instagram, Valentina for Congress, the Missouri AG, or that chick's public. I mean, she'll create a video and say, "Don't be gay," and you're just like, "Oh my god!" Like I can, and it's got like 450,000 likes. You're like, this bitch gets it. She's a communication expert, and she can barely speak English.
Yeah, exactly. But then, can you imagine if you have shit like this and people dig and they hate you? They don't like something you said, and then
but that's the thing is, that's the thing. That's the Streisand effect. Like, if you go viral, you go viral. You control the narrative now. People who watch old videos of you are basically depressed losers. If they don't get the new version of you, like that's the new version of you. So you can play this game where like, oh, I don't want to ruin my reputation. You don't have a reputation, and your credibility is your credibility. But if you don't, so I'm just trying to say that like, I don't know, you're hot, you're engaged. I mean, I'm just saying, don't waste your time on this fucking app. But you should, or at least capture it, but make it private. That's my advice. I'll leave it at that.
Make it productive. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
So my kind of question, I mean, and it would all be speculation, but it's kind of a classic, that classic thing about not equating to malice, what could be explained through incompetence, right? So when I saw them panning to her so frequently, it was like, are they just, and I agree she is bizarre looking, has way too much plastic surgery.
Basically, Angel, this is the media business, this is the content business, like...
What are they talking about? Way too much plastic surgery.
And you're in a room full of old Republicans. So,
what?
I couldn't tell, are they...
Who are they talking about, this guy?
This is Mike Servillo, a weird post-politico neo-Malthusian troglodyte. Listen, the point is all communication is hypnosis. You don't need a point of reference, or you don't even need to know what people are talking about on this app, because in terms of like an audio clip file, like if I record this, okay, and I leave the room, and then 2 days from now I listen to it and it's an hour long, that's an audiobook, okay? And I would rather listen to any other audiobook than this room of idiots. Right. So this is a Dinner for Schmucks event, and I'm filming it, letting hopefully everybody know, like, I'm recording this so people know I am secretly recording a Dinner for Schmucks. But I had to cultivate and do all this work to even get here to be able to record the Dinner for Schmucks. So all these people don't know that I'm listening to them, and I'm technically saying everyone here, even myself, is a Dinner for Schmuck, but at least I'm willing to say the truth that everyone here is an idiot.
So I was curious what network.
This is still that.
I just looked her up, and I am pretty observant, especially when I'm checking out.
Listen, I'm gonna leave this recording studio here in my house soon and go into my hot tub and finish this cocktail and relax. And I'm just gonna let this record. You can waste your life listening to my secret recording.
Hey, Mike, is that you or is that Michael Douglas from Falling Down?
That's me. It was a Halloween costume.
I hope your fiance makes you laugh like this, and he's not so serious.
So funny. It's one of the things I love about him. I laugh all the time when I'm with him.
Oh, good.
Good to see you. I ain't saw you in 2 days.
Yeah,
is that movie where
he's got to have a sense of humor. He can't take anything seriously.
Actually, I didn't.
No, he's a very positive person. I love him about it.
Oh, good.
I'm sure everyone will say.
He must be Jewish.
But I lost my shit and attempted to insult you and embarrass you the other day in that room right after the Trump assassination. And all I did was embarrass myself, and I feel really bad about it. I've shit on 1,000 people on this app, and I've never given any of them an apology. But I'm giving it to you because I actually do like you as a person. I think you're a cool dude.
He's a drug dealer and an Uber driver, and he eats greasy ass chicken.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
This guy, I do think that Hakima knows somebody in Chicago politics that's like in a Democrat, party or something like that. I think he knows somebody.
He's being paid. There's two reasons of people defending defending these liberal dumb policies with their lives. Either they're too dumb or they're being paid. And
well, he says he's not a Democrat and that he's voting Kennedy. So
no, he's being paid. He's clearly being paid. He's not.
No, I don't think he's being paid. I think he's too stupid to even. Yeah. I think he's too stupid to even ask for money to do this, and I think that he knows somebody who's basically giving him some information to field out there, because he can go to people he knows, and say, hey, I have access here. So his Instagram is Hakima Tolo, and I'm pretty sure he's a brother of the Nation of Islam. His Twitter is McMillion Hakima, and his name is Hekima Wisdom. And Moorish Science. So I am almost 100% sure that he's a member of the Nation of Islam from Stony Brook Island, which is the descendancy of the Prophet Muhammad Elijah with current Louis Farrakhan. I'm almost sure that this guy... But anyways, have you ever seen his picture? He is the ugliest looking motherfucker I've ever seen. He makes me like...
When he posts on his profile, is that his picture? With dreadlocks?
Yeah, his skin looks disgusting. His beard is groomed disgusting. Wow. He just looks slimy and schmarmy and dirty.
No, like you said, he's very stupid. You can tell he's not the brightest.
Don't interrupt me.
He's there. I think that was a perfect.
He repeats the does like 7 times before he can get a word out, and it's just it's so terrible listening to him. Anyways, let's go back to the DEI. This is Americans speaking about America with foreign friends, but there's not a single foreigner in this fucking room.
Which is, I don't know. I didn't look enough at the video, but...
That's always the truth about all these rooms. The exact opposite is always the exact truth of the room title.
All the guys and half the girls right now are trying to figure out what the fuck a hooded island is.
Oh, Kelly's modded.
You know, yeah,
no, they can Google it. They can Google it. I'm just laughing because, listen, I've seen her describe all of this, and I had to Google half of it. Paige just speaks.
Anthony, what up? I'm live streaming Healthy Debates into Jefferson Park News.
I'm pointing out that there's so many dudes in here, but then even half the girls are like, wait, what is that? I mean, I know what a hooded island is, but honestly, until a few years ago, I probably couldn't have told you what it looked like. But I knew what was being described, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
So invite people to Jefferson Park News, grow this room, and we will roast them real time. This is the roast of Healthy Debates.
And he did filler around the bottom of the eye area and Botox. I don't think he had his eyes done because he would have less skin there. So I'm going to put that on the filler and the Botox.
Abby, I'm going to post a tweet really quick, and you can do a side-by-side of his eyes before and after. Something to look.
Michelle, why did you say I was being abusive? Like, I'm the only person that likes your TikTok videos, Michelle.
I don't know all these things. This isn't something I know what they are, but whatever. This is not a world I've ever dipped a toe into. But if you look at a picture of him on a stage where he's looking straight forward, the amazing thing to me is you can almost see the symmetrical lines going across his eyes, his cheeks, and like from the top of his head down his nose. And it's so perfectly symmetrical from like his top lip up, and then you go below that and his face is still crooked as hell like it used to be. That's the reason that I was like, he has to have had some kind of surgery. It's like his skin has been moved to make his face not look crooked, so now it just looks like the bottom of it got punched.
Hey, Kelly,
who's this bitch talking about?
Only women would notice that. Like, I don't think a straight man ever in history even understand what you gotta. This is like a foreign language to me. Maybe another straight man might understand it better, but like this is foreign language.
You know Hakima ain't straight if he's saying he's straight.
I get what you mean, but for me, like, he obviously had.
This man is a bisexual.
The point that I'm making isn't that I could imagine the lines. His face is
Who are they talking about?
The lines in the reflection of the light while he's speaking. That's the point that I made.
Are they talking about Trump or J.D. Vance?
I, in my mind, put those lines on him.
I think they're talking about
Gates?
Matt Gates the other day, how he had so many plastic surgery.
Yeah. He does look very weird.
Okay, and if you look,
He got a lot of Botox.
I wish it was when he was looking with his new face straight at the camera. But totally agree. Like if you look at
He does have a really good Instagram live podcast, though. I gotta admit, he's really good at broadcasting.
Great, I love
and he's definitely got the highlighter going. And he already has like the eyebrow shape, but just under it, you can see there's like you can see his.
You think Mike? You think he's gay?
Where usually it was covered.
Matt Gates is a closet gay. He promises to say he's gay.
Wow.
I just know. I'd be quiet.
Okay, I like doing this for a man. We do it to women all the time. It's fun to do it for a guy.
It looks like the under eyelids are done, and he might have had a peel. I'm kind of.
Abby has like threatened me, saying, "You better stop recording people who don't want to be recorded."
Definitely, probably has some.
You're gonna find out the hard way.
Usually, I mean, that.
I told her, I was like, just join the list of, join the bankruptcy docket. I'll throw you into the bankruptcy when you sue me.
Oh my god.
Hey, yesterday the Daily Beast had a thing about, Usha, JD's wife. She looked really pretty, I thought, at the convention. Like a really elegant looking woman. And then
I am mixing pineapple juice with my beers and drinking them on the ice, and they're delicious.
And it showed what Eric's wife looked like when they were first married.
Yeah, but that's a very German thing. German loves to mix beer.
What she looks like now compared to when she was married.
It's basically just, it's alcohol. So it's just alcohol juice. That's what you're doing.
It's a really beautiful
Right, and it's fizzy, and it makes it less funky.
Yeah, it kind of makes it, champagnes it a little bit.
I saw this tweet that was like, on your first season of Housewives versus your.
So this room is very boring.
Did you post that?
Yeah.
Alright, that was a good one. That was a good one.
There's a lot of people in there, though. There's no other rooms going on that are of any interest, so.
Black News? What do you think of Black News? Like, he thinks he knows it all this.
He might be dumber than Hakima, to be honest with you.
He annoys me. Oh my god, but here's the thing, he is dumb. Hakima, at least, I think he's humbly dumb.
What are you wondering about?
Black News is a stuck-up dumb who thinks he's not dumb.
I agree.
He thinks he's smart.
Hey man, you want to come over to my mom's house and eat some hot dogs?
I only eat fruit, so no, I'll definitely pay us.
He only eats fruit. Did you hear this guy? No wonder why he stinks.
Were you wondering about Botox?
Okay, I'm going to give the moderators the room. I'm gonna go into my hot tub and meditate on total victory for Donald Trump.
To Gates.
But Botox doesn't change the shape of your face. That's like a common misconception, right? Like people think when they see
I
someone
love Botox apologists. They're hilarious. Oh, I should show you my Bumble account. The ugliest women you've ever seen. Oh, I gotta show it to you. Angela, set me up with a hottie.
Botox you can barely.
What the fuck? Do something for me, please.
I still don't know if you're a psycho or not. I don't know if you're a psycho. I don't know if you're just being funny. I don't know if you're too smart. I don't know if something is wrong with you. I don't know who you are,
I
Edmund.
pretend that I'm crazy. What are you talking about? How do you think I survived the war?
I know, you're too good at what you do. I don't know.
Just hang tight.
Yeah, this black woman wanted me to go kill people in the hills of Afghanistan. I said, fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna go see a psychiatrist.
You too fucking funny for your own good.
She's like, psychiatrist? That's a Jew racket.
I mean, I guess we don't have to get into that. It's probably a big.
No, it's a good question, honestly, because this is usually
I don't know what's the difference.
He's talking to a psychiatrist. That's a racket for the Jews.
Is basically it's something that goes into your face and like goes under the skin and changes kind of the shape of your face. Like when you see someone with plump lips, that's filler in there, or really big cheeks. That's filler. Botox just stops like your face from moving, essentially. Dr. Catherine, do you want to jump in with a more medical explanation?
I was.
Is that still the same?
Would you mind?
No, I got a quick joke. I don't want to cut Dr. Catherine out. I would hope for Dr. Jordan to come interject into this madness, but Dr. Catherine, you are just go for it. I'm just laughing. I mean,
Okay, I'll be brief. Botox is a neurotoxin. So what that means is we inject it just into the superficial plane of the tissue, and it really blocks the neuromuscular activity of the facial muscles. So that means the frown lines in the face, the like angry lines between the eyebrows, the lines around the eyes, they can be softened with Botox because, you know, when we say like if you make that face, you're, you know, gonna be frozen with those lines, we can numb those lines out so that they look smooth and soft. So most of like the Fox News broadcasters, you'll see when they smile, when they raise their eyebrows or try to raise their eyebrows, there's not a lot of movement on their face. That's Botox. Filler is hyaluronic acid, which is kind of like, think about it like caulk. You can put it into the space of the face and it will fill in where there's defect, and that will give like a woman her cheek line, it will puff up the lips, and surgeons and estheticians will use filler to give a woman when she starts getting less estrogen and her collagen levels go down, just like her bones get weaker, the face starts to hollow out and she loses like that soft, supple look that a young woman has.
That is Chick Rochelle told me to fuck off.
If they do it wrong, you can look like, I heard someone say, a little more bloated and puffy.
Dr. Catherine, do people get addicted to these types of,
You know, it's a good question. I do think, like, so full disclaimer, I've been getting like preventive Botox since I was 26. Okay, so a little
preventive Botox!
You know, tend to look younger over time.
Hi, everybody. I want to offer you some preventive Botox.
Absolutely. Addictive services mean that often it's the doctor that's taking more money from people, and I think that's unethical. And I have many patients, because I do Botox in my office for my patients.
Hi, everybody. Sheva with Tobe. I'm offering free preventive Botox for just $29.99 at an injection site. My cell phone number is in the chat and the PTR. Just text me right now.
Broadcasters, some of them are absolutely magnificent, so I would take issue with what you say on that. And with respect to his face, if you get Botox in those little lines that are in between your two eyebrows, in the middle of your face, if they hit those lines too far over, it will cause the eyebrow to go up in the air, which is what you see, that crazy arch that he has. And it's because they hit where the Botox was put in the, I forget what they call, Dr. Catherine, you know, whatever those two lines are. Yeah.
The labella!
So, and that, if you do it wrong, it can cause the eyebrow to shoot up like that. I'm going to say it looks like he's got filler around his mouth, as well as clearly in the cheekbones, like something pretty thick. You know, whatever the new Juvederm is, whatever the new thicker filler is. But it definitely had something put around his mouth as well as the cheeks. And I definitely think he did some kind of peel or something under the eyes, to peel under the eyes. That would be my guess on it.
Yo, Tato! Emergency broadcast, dog! I got free Botox filler preventative for you all, dog. Hey, listen in, I got free Botox for all my clowns.
I don't know, my folks never did. Anybody I know, they didn't do it, and, you know, the skin seems to be resilient. My grandmother never had wrinkles and whatever. I don't know if that's because, you know, maybe she just took care of herself very well, and she did, and I'm almost 40. I don't have wrinkles in my face and all this other stuff.
And there is a difference in hormones, you know.
Free Palestine! Congratulations! I got free Botox for everybody. Preventative filler.
Blacks that do it, whites that do it. I mean, it's just a question. And they do it young. It's not always just for wrinkles, or as Catherine was saying, preventative. Some of them do it to get big, you know, that big lip look, or they want the cheekbones, and they're doing it in their 20s.
Yeah, social media dysmorphia. I spent a lot of time
I'm in France and also in, obviously I'm American, so in the US too. And there is a way to do
All right,
it.
everybody, free Botox, $29.99 injection, telephone numbers in the PTR.
Try to avoid aging because you're going to
Preventative
age,
filler.
You can tweak a little bit, or maybe you don't want that wrinkle here yet. You can do a little preventative. We don't have to go overboard with it.
Just take care of yourself, man. That's how I feel. I'm 40 years old, and people say, what do you do? What do you do to take care of your face? I don't buy all these creams and stuff. I wash my face with soap and water.
Soap and water?
Whatever. I mean, I don't have wrinkles and issues and all of that. I do take care of myself, and you are what you eat. So if you want your skin to have elasticity to it and whatever else, then you need to also eat the stuff that supports all of that. And a lot of people, they eat a bunch of junk and all that kind of stuff, and they wonder why their skin or whatever else looks like crap. That ain't going to be me. So
it's a combination of genetics. I agree. Hold on, Craig. It's a combination of genetics and, hydration and all of that stuff. And, all of that is very, very important. But, it's a combo.
I've never done anything.
You don't have to get Botox.
Yeah, because I'm looking at people who are very young and they're doing this. And I told one lady, I said, well, I'm 40 and I ain't done none of that. She's like, for real? Yeah, I'm never putting a knife to my face or a needle or any of that because I've seen horrible things as that stuff, as you begin to get older, that face and stuff, and you just leave it alone. The good Lord.
Leave your face alone, bitch.
Around with that. If I want to be in shape, I'm going to go.
Leave your ugly ass alone and stay ugly, bitch.
Yourself, and I'm a.
Yes. To each their own, brother.
That is true. That is true. That's true.
That's your choice. Your body, your choice.
The solution is
Craig's been trying to jump in. Sorry, Craig.
The solution is very simple and very boring.
We are the solution. We are the revolution.
Don't eat a lot of processed foods. And eat your foods with a fair amount of pigments and antioxidants.
Okay,
I know a lot of you guys won't agree, but sunscreen is poison. And there's a doctor. His name is Doctor. There's a doctor. He's a white guy. His name is Dr. Jack Cruz. He's a neurologist. You can look him up.
Neurosurgeon, Bitcoiner. We know about Jack Cruz. Relax.
Okay. You know about him, Catherine, but Dr. Catherine, everybody's done. But my point is that he's against sunscreen, and he's telling people, white, black, or other, that you need to get sun. So sun is not the devil. Is my point. And sunscreen is the devil.
It's UV radiation is UV radiation. You can put other stuff under your skin.
Argue with Dr. Jack Cruz, not me, because I'm
just saying.
We can bring that, I think, to Dr. Catherine's point. But I wanted Dr. Catherine to jump in. I thought she was trying to earlier. You guys.
Well, I was just going to say, look, no two people are the same when it comes to their tolerance for the radiation from the UV of the sun. This has something to do with your genetics, your ancestry, how your body repairs, as someone else said too, what toxins you're metabolizing. So there are a lot of factors at play here. So I don't think we should be saying in a binary way, sunscreen is the devil, this kind of thing. Everybody's different, and I think we should just honor and respect that it's your skin. You can over-radiate it if you want. You can get Botox for it if you want, and most of us will be able to tell if something's going one way or another. But the facts are, when a woman after the age of 45, she is losing bone, she is losing collagen, she is losing elasticity of her skin. That is a fact. So, like Ashton, I honor, you're 40, you have gorgeous skin, but it will change as your hormones change, and that is truth. And there are things you can do to make that happen maybe a little later, and everybody ages at a different rate and makes hormones at a different rate.
You know what? I'm going to make sure I keep this damn good insurance I got. I have to tell you that because I know you can't beat aging, but I'm a damn well do my best to have good insurance to make sure that my skin looks good and that I look like my grandmother. My grandmother was well, into her 80s and stuff and never had, skin problems, but she did. When we were younger, we used what we call mineral sunscreen. So not this sunscreen that is soaked into the skin. Mineral sunscreen is a little bit different. It sits on top of the skin, whereas this other sunscreen more manufactured. So it depends on the type of sunscreen and what you do.
Sunscreenology!
Because I'm out, out in the sun and things like that. So even black folks and things, we were taught growing up for black people that we should wear mineral sunscreen. One is natural.
I disagree with that.
I disagree with the mineral sunscreenology.
Agree to disagree.
Can I chime in on something, guys? Because my father died of skin cancer, and I've had skin cancer, and it's not something to joke about. It's a very, very serious thing, and there are some wonderful sunblocks. And if you go to a good dermatologist, they'll recommend sunblocks that are safe and effective. And you should always everyone should always get what I call it a freckle check, but a skin check, and check that you don't have anything suspicious on your body. It's a very smart thing to do. And I totally emphatically disagree with the comment that sunscreen is the devil. It is absolutely not the devil. Different kinds, and you should choose the right one. But I am talking experience, losing a parent to it, and I have it, and I've got to watch it all the time. And no, it is not the devil, and that's really something bad to say and to spread that kind of information.
Let me say one thing real quick. I apologize. I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do with their body, but I am speaking on what I know to be true. So I shouldn't make a blanket statement because I won't use it. My kids won't. Nobody I know have used it. So, but I shouldn't say it's the devil. But I was basing that off listening to Dr. Jack. But to each their own. So I do apologize. I'm not trying to mislead anyone.
No, it's okay, Hakima. I have a girlfriend.
Let me finish up real quick.
Heaven forbid Abby interject into you, even though she's also a mod. But that's
all right, Kelly. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say quickly. I have a girlfriend who's a very famous dermatologist. She also has a skincare line that people may know of called Rodan and Fields. They sell all over the world, and she makes sunblocks that are excellent, safe. So if you know someone that sells RNF, that would be one I would recommend. But no one should go out in the sun without block on. You're out of your mind. You're just looking to destroy yourself with.
This is a good reminder, Abby, because I'm sure maybe you've faced this before. You kind of had this really big wake-up call, obviously, and I'm sorry to hear that about both you and your parent. But I just spent some time in Florida, and I'm tanner than I've been in forever because I'm usually trying to be fluorescent beige, and it's more for a vanity thing of not trying to get wrinkles than anything else. But it feels so good to be tan, right? And it's just one of those things. You feel kind of a vitality to it. You look maybe thinner or whatever, but it's a good reminder to keep yourself.
Dr. Jordan, I see you.
As a swimmer, I wear it. As a swimmer, I wear it because we have to. We're out there sometimes 8 hours a day. And yes, a dermatologist is the best because sometimes it's off-the-shelf stuff, and some of the things, you can even have things tested if you've got the money to do that. Folks, have things tested, or if you don't feel comfortable, go to a custom compounded lab where you can sit down with somebody and say, hey, just like I sit down with a nutritionist, you can sit down with somebody and that does compounding of chemicals and things like that, and sit down with them and say, hey, I have these fears, but I want this to be made safe, and they can go over something with you, kind of like a prescription, and put that together for you. So anything can be customized. I'm just saying a lot of people aren't going to do that, and some can't afford it, so they do reach for on-the-shelf stuff, stuff that's on the shelf. But there are better ways out there that you can get some beautiful sunscreens and things like that that are safe and have them custom made for you. So stop by a compounded lab or something like that, and they'll help you out.
What's amazing, I just saw a commercial before all you guys talked about this earlier today about sunscreen for kids. They actually had blue and purple sunscreen that lasted 6 hours. It was a commercial from the late 1980s, maybe early 1990s, but it was basically you knew it was done when the purple or the blue faded off of you. So they show kids with the whole body painted with this sunscreen that was blue or purple, and you could go out in the sun all day long. It's amazing how they did that back then, and how they marketed it to young folks.
I think they also had green ketchup for a long time because that was so big, and that to me was a feat of food technology advancements or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yes, I think more or less the purple or the blue colors were so you knew when it was actually 6 hours, so that they knew when to replace it. It was more of that replacement time atmosphere, because if you put on regular sunscreen as a kid, you don't know it's there. Kind of like the banana boat. When you put it on your nose, it was white. So I think this was basically to show that, hey, you're dark purple now. Now you're faded down. You need to add more. So I think that's what that was about, a ploy to get more on the person and keep it on and say you're protected.
I remember it well, Barberton.
So maybe we should bring this to, the 2020-25 initiative, and how the EPA and FDA, I mean, how do you guys feel about the FDA, like maybe not regulating some of these over-the-counter sunscreens and stuff? I mean, they're putting out a lot of changes, that initiative, operation, whatever they call it, 2025, with respect to regulation of what you can purchase and give your...
Well, it needs to be regulated.
Trump is against it.
We need regulations with certain things. I don't want someone building my home and we don't have certain regulations. The same thing with anything consumable or anything I put on my body. I've been over to several different countries. I've been to Dubai. They do this beautifully. A lot of their stuff doesn't have a lot of the chemicals that are banned in this country, and I have a problem with that. When I travel, I'm like, wow, their food is plump, and something about it. It's rich, and from the soil you can taste it, right? Dubai has a lot of stuff shipped in because they're in the desert. You get the idea, but the food that they bring in from Africa and things like that, all over the world, the Ivory Coast, stuff like that, it's beautiful, and the chemicals that are in that food, they are trying to eliminate a lot of the stuff that's killing us over here. And we have to think about that as a country. What do we have to have these regulations? Because hell, we could find lead in our food and heavy metals and stuff that has no place to be in food. And a lot of things have been recalled in this country because of lack of regulation, or some of it's just straight up human error, right? You shouldn't find fur in your chocolate, right? Crap like that and all this other stuff. So I just tell people, when you deregulate certain things, right, then you begin to create catastrophes and things like in the railroad industries and that kind of stuff, train explosions, derailments, all that, and infrastructure failures and things, bridges and buildings collapsing and killing people. So there are certain regulations that I feel need to be in place. Same thing.
They managed to kick me from the room. Okay, this has been Art. Wow. I can't believe we're going to be able to shut all this down. They did me a favor. a long one. This has been a really good podcast.